Make that 3 wins in a row, ladies and gentlemen, and the Bulls will look for one more against the Hawks tomorrow night. All of this being said, this was another must-win game for the Bulls. The Raptors only had 8 players available tonight. Granted, they did have Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Chris Boucher. But with all of the players out, the Bulls absolutely needed to take advantage of this game and come away with a win. And despite coming out to start off the game pretty slow, they rebounded quickly in the end of the first. They woke up and blew out the Raptors from there. Although towards the end in the fourth, I don't know what's going on there. They almost fell apart. Definitely made me nervous, but Lavine came in and scored 2 huge buckets at the end to stop the bleeding. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bull Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Now for the Bulls, we have a lot to be excited about, but at the same time, we have to admit as Bulls fans, we've been getting pretty lucky against all of these teams that are suffering from injuries or COVID protocols. The Bulls have faced countless shorthanded teams this season when the Bulls have been relatively healthy going against said teams. The difference now is the Bulls aren't messing around against these teams. If you remember just a few weeks ago before the trade deadline, the Bulls played a Sixers team without Embiid and Simmons and they lost. They played a Spurs team without DeRozan and they lost. They played a lousy Cavs team without multiple players and lost that game. So the Bulls have been given a lot of opportunities to take advantage of shorthanded teams, and they haven't been able to capitalize until recently. Now, like I said, the Bulls started off this game slow in the first half of the first quarter, then completely took over the rest of the first half in total. Now, they did let the Raptors go on a few runs in the third quarter, which made me a little nervous. Guys started to fall asleep a little on defense. Whenever the Bulls started to extend the lead further, the Raptors always seemed to come back. That is one thing that still concerns me a bit with the Bulls, is that whenever they do start taking big leads, they do get a little complacent and slow down on defense, thinking the game is out of reach, and you just cannot do that. You cannot take your foot off the pedal ever, if you're the Bulls especially. We saw what happened in the game against the Spurs when they went on a 17-0 run in the fourth. We saw the Thunder come back after being down 20 points and then to beat the Bulls. So the guys should know this better than any team, to keep competing until that horn sounds. And again tonight, the Raptors cut the lead to 7 with less than 2 minutes to go, but Lavine came in and closed out that game, coming in huge in the clutch. But there was one thing about this game more than anything else that I absolutely loved seeing in this game. And it may surprise Bulls fans, but it was not Lavine hitting those clutch shots to seal the game when they needed it most, but how well Lavine played tonight throughout the game, not just in those final minutes. Now, I know you're going to say, but Lavine has still been struggling on offense, and have you not been paying attention to how he's been shooting, especially from 3? And yes, I totally get that, and I obviously would like to see Lavine be a little more consistent with his shooting, especially from 3. But unlike what we've seen from Zach in the past, he's been so much more unselfish in sacrificing his offense to other guys on the team, relinquishing control to others, and his awareness that when things aren't going for him on offense, he's being smart about how he's running the flow of the court and finding his teammates, facilitating, distributing. And wouldn't you know it, the team is incredibly successful as a result. Lavine was plus 20 tonight in box plus minus, and he only shot 2 for 8 from 3 and really struggled throughout from the field throughout the second half until the very end, really. But 13 assists. Man was playing like a point guard out there. That was, I think, near close to his career high in terms of assists. It was his career high in number of assists with the Bulls, but I believe he did have 14 assists when he played with the Timberwolves before coming to Chicago. To go along with 4 rebounds and 3 steals, he did have 5 turnovers though, but he made up for it in the other aspects of his game. Now, the reason it's a game like this that gets me excited about Lavine is that I won't deny, I was a bit concerned that Lavine would have a little trouble sacrificing his touches and scoring when they brought in Vucevic. But he has been 100% unselfish in his approach and solely focused on the betterment of the team and wanting to win more than anything. And the other thing that's great about this is it is so much easier to attract and recruit another star player, a free agent, when first, when you already have 2 stars on the team, but also when you have unselfish stars that are willing to sacrifice their own stats and touches to win, to play team basketball. So that's what got me excited about this game after watching it, which I know doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense because for all intents and purposes, you look at Lavine's night on offense as it relates to scoring anyway, and you think, okay, it was an okay night for Lavine, but he was so effective in other areas on the court that you have to be pleased as a Bulls fan. The other things I love seeing in this game was yet another solid game from Coby White and Markkanen off the bench. Similar to what we saw in the last game against the Pacers, Markkanen was efficient on offense, shooting 8 for 10 from the field. It was great to see him being more aggressive, getting to the basket rather than just settling for the 3-point shot. He had 18 points in 18 minutes. And then Coby White, same thing, 15 points, 5 for 10 from the floor, shot well from deep finally. And of course, Daniel Theis, he has been great for this team in terms of the energy he provides on defense, but also has been solid on offense. He had 14 points and 10 rebounds. And I'll continue to say it, Troy Brown Jr. needs to be getting more minutes. He only played 14 minutes tonight. I know it doesn't seem like he did that much when you look at the box score, but his defense is what stands out more than anything, and it's something this Bulls team greatly needs. I mean, even against a shorthanded Raptors team, we weren't out of the woods up until the very end, still allowing the Raptors to score 113 points and really giving up a lot in the fourth quarter. Donovan has started to tighten up his rotations a bit, which, yes, makes sense. You're going to see that as we get closer to the end of the season, especially someone like Billy Donovan, who generally likes to run with a smaller lineup. But I would really like to see Troy Brown Jr. get some more opportunities to show what he can do. Then the Bulls as a whole, I mean, how about that ball movement? I mean, I've said it time and time again, ball and player movement. Team basketball is so critical to success in a system like Billy Donovan's. 35 assists tonight to the Raptors, 19. The flow of offense was smooth, not necessarily for the whole game, but the flow and pace overall was great. They did have 16 turnovers, again, something the Bulls still continue to struggle with. But 35 assists tonight as a team, just phenomenal. They shot 54% from the field, and also another great shooting night from 3. They shot over, I guess I should say they shot exactly 40% from 3, going 12 for 30. And the Bulls are going to continue to luck out in the game tomorrow night against the Hawks. The Hawks will be without John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, and of course Chris Dunn. And even Clint Capella, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and Danilo Gallinari are questionable for tomorrow's game. The Hawks will still have Trae Young, but there's only so much Trae can do when you have so many players out. So let's hope the Bulls can take care of business like they did tonight, like they did on Tuesday, and like they did against the Nets. Don't play down to your competition, come out strong and secure a win against another East team that is fighting for playoff position. Let's get that 4th win in a row. Overall, it was a great game, a bit of faltering there at the end in the 4th for the Bulls, but you also have to give the Raptors credit. Boucher played an incredible game. It felt like he couldn't miss. But you have to like seeing the Bulls closing out these games as we weren't really seeing before the trade deadline. I'll be back out with another video tomorrow, and of course, I'll have a live chat for the game against the Hawks, so be on the lookout for that. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel as I post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.